Welcome to the Pink Dress Effect podcast with Shannon
and Kim.
We're here today. We're going to talk about just kind of catch up. What have we been up to since the last recording a month ago or so, right? The time is flying.
Yeah, it is flying.
It's going to be October.
I know, and I'm so excited.
I'm kind of too, but the weather's been hot.
It has been hot, but we had a couple of days.
That were cool. Yeah.
That things were going to change.
I'm kind of ready for it. I mean, I went to a football game yesterday, tailgate in South Carolina. And for those watching that don't know, we live in North Carolina, so it's hot, and we have like this weird weather.
It's humid right now. Like the storms coming in and
It
stuff.
is, but it's like our weather, like you said, we had a touch, and then it's 95 again, you know? And this is kind of typical for this time of year. But it was hot. It was hot yesterday, and then we had some storms come in, and then they were gone, and it was hot, but it was muggy.
It's muggy. I can't stand it.
It was,
Yeah, I don't like it. But it's my favorite time of the year.
Yep.
I love the fall.
Get those pumpkins out.
You know what? Since I've moved to my new place, I can't really decorate outside. Well, I could. However,
you could put a pumpkin out there.
I could, but it's one of the things I've thought a lot about, even over the last month, as being an apartment by myself. You have to think about things like, do I want to put decorations out so that people know you're living alone? That's those are things I think that. Well, I don't know that they know you're living alone, but they might be able to tell that a woman lives there.
Right.
And I've been very thoughtful about those types of things.
That's a great thing. I mean, because sometimes I think about that. I'm in the same situation, when my son's not here, you think about, oh my goodness, like every little creek or whatever. Sleep with the lights on. Do you have a porch light?
I do have a porch light.
You should keep that on.
I keep it on
24/7. I keep all my lights on
24/7.
I do too.
And I don't worry. I really don't consciously worry all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm safe, but I'm more conscious.
It's such a cute place too.
Yeah, I do love it. I love it.
What have you done inside to decorate?
I have put up wreaths and little flowers and all that. I'm trying to not go the straight up pumpkin. Pumpkins everywhere. More of a sophisticated type of
I love it. Well, you're encouraging me because I think I told you after going to your house, and I'm sure you've done a lot more since I've seen it, that I need to go upstairs and get some of my stuff out. The only thing I have out, I think, is a little thing of soap in the bathroom with a pumpkin on it. But other than that, I mean, and then it's too hot outside to put real pumpkins, I think, because it's a waste of money. They'll rot.
I don't know, Shannon. Those pumpkins.
You think?
Look, I've seen people have pumpkins and they're still sitting out at Christmas time.
Oh gosh, jeez.
I don't know.
True.
I think they probably last longer than you think they will.
I normally wait till I was gonna say October, but it is October.
It's right around the corner.
But I've got a really pretty ceramic pumpkin that I got, and you can put a light in it. And I got it from Harris Teeter one year when I lived back in Rocky Mount. I mean, that was like 12, 13 years ago. And I still put that thing out, I get so many compliments. And I actually saw a very similar one, more probably like straighter lines at Publix the other day. And I was like,
the grocery store pumpkin.
The grocery store pumpkin. So you get the ceramic ones, so you don't have to worry about that. But
But you should decorate. I decorate at the turn of every season.
Yep.
Clean up, clear out everything.
Even as your girls grew?
Even as my girls grew, yeah.
See, I noticed a shift in myself. Like once my son left, I mean, I do obviously for Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
I just find a shift. It's like not that I don't care. I do care. I love that stuff. Maybe I'm just not as excited about it because there's nobody else here, but I guess I should do it for me.
Do it for you. Do it for you. That's one of the things that, we've talked about, romanticizing your life and doing all that. And I had a friend who bought me, I was just talking about this. It's a record player. I guess I call it a record player. My generation, that's what we call it.
What do they call it now?
I don't know. Like a turntable or whatever.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. They call it something. But, it's for your vinyls. I would call it a record.
Record.
Now they call
it
a record. Vinyl.
Didn't we call them records?
Yes, we did call them records. It was the difference between a record and a cassette.
That is so funny.
That's hilarious. But just, have a glass of wine. Put on, Teddy Swims on there and listen to the crackle. And, I am very much enjoying my life. And, but it's been, this last month, I think.
It's awful. Awful.
Yes.
That's awful. I'm going to have to fix that.
I think that, no, don't fix that. Because I think that's true. I think a lot of things over the last month have been awful
Oh,
and
yeah.
awesome.
Like in our society.
Yeah, I think our society is really going to hell in a handbasket. And I mean, I really, it's been
And you don't
challenging for
even watch
me.
the news too much, right?
I don't even have a TV.
But some of the stuff
Yeah.
just is on social media that's
Yeah.
on the mainstream media, you can't
Yes.
help but miss it, right?
You can't help but miss it. And I think there's a real heaviness to the world
I think so.
that is really impacting, I know for me, impacting me on so many levels. And I've thought a lot about just decisions in my personal life. And I had, things going on that were a bit of a struggle. And I thought about my response to things. And it really kind of tied into some of the things going on in the world. And we don't do like real political content or anything like that on this
Right.
podcast. So we're not going to get into all of that. But I think just the tone of the world right now is something that we can definitely talk about. And but about personal responsibility for how you show up in the world.
Yeah.
And even when times are really challenging, really difficult, but that you get the choice to determine what your response will be. And we can get in our emotions.
Easy.
Easy.
Especially when someone doesn't agree with you.
When someone doesn't agree with you.
Yeah.
When you want them to agree with you, when you feel, attacked and you want to defend yourself, it's so easy to get caught up in the moment of trying to justify your beliefs and trying to convince someone else that your beliefs are right. And so I really thought about just how do you show up in a space really demonstrating to others how you should show up in the world and how you are Christ-like. Because that for me is the goal, is to become more Christ-like as you evolve and grow. So for me, that's unconditional love for all people.
Yeah.
And how do you show up in that space? Because you think about God and you think about forgiveness and you think about asking for forgiveness. Look, you only have to ask for forgiveness once.
Right.
And you move on. And so giving people grace as you move through the world and really questioning yourself when you are caught up in your emotions about, are you being a part of the solution? Or are you being a part of the problem? And when you bring hatred forth into the world in any format, you're a part of the problem.
I agree.
And I don't want to be a part of the problem in any setting in my life.
No.
And it really takes a toll on you, the natural emotion that we feel and the anger and things that come up. That's not a good place to sit and stay in.
No.
But I think a lot of the country is sitting in that and staying in it.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kim. And I think really, we've talked before, it's like, we're such good friends. Doesn't mean we agree on everything, but I think that's one of the beautiful things about our friendship is that the differences is what we've learned from each other.
Yes.
And I think you have a better understanding of where folks come from. You don't have to agree, but really just listen to understand instead of to try to prove your point.
Right.
So I agree with you. And it's like, if we could approach that more all over the world, right? I think we would have less strife.
We would have less strife. And but the thing about it is, I think that there was a time when you could have difficult conversations, and it was just, you disagree with me. And your beliefs are different than mine. I don't agree with you. You're not necessarily a bad person, and that's okay. We go on about our business, and you have your beliefs and I have mine. But now it's become something else.
Oh, I agree.
It's become something
a lot of hate,
else.
right?
There's a lot of hate, and there's a lot of just intolerance. And I just don't believe that's of God. I don't.
No.
And I think that we should all fight diligently to combat against that and to highlight, things in the world that shouldn't be happening and that we personally disagree with, but don't, just rain down, all of this animosity towards other people. I don't think that's a part of any solution. So I've just been thinking about that a lot and being very introspective about how I contribute to me personally, how I contribute to things in the world. So,
Well, that's awesome. And maybe encourage other people to take on that, maybe a challenge, right?
Yes.
To
Yes.
try to just do better and be better.
Yeah.
And just because you don't agree with someone doesn't mean you can't like them,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you can
Right.
still like someone and
Yeah.
not agree.
Well, it's so rare that you agree. Who are you agreeing with all the time?
No
Nobody's
one.
agreeing with
Your
anybody
family,
all
yeah,
the time.
nobody, yeah.
No, I mean, I think, I was just recently, and we're going to do another whole episode on faith, so I won't go into this a lot, but I was talking with someone and they they weren't a Christian. And the initial, conversation, when you talk to people who don't believe in Jesus, or maybe an atheist, maybe agnostic, when you are a Christian, it unsettles you a little bit.
Right, right.
It's a little unsettling. But then I thought about it and I said, sit and listen to this person share their experience without judging what they're saying. As listen to hear instead of to respond. And so the more I listened and the more we talked, I could hear the tone of hurt somewhere in the past in regards to religion. So when you think about that, I don't want to get all into that because we are going to do a whole episode, but what I took away from that moment was, as the conversation evolved, you got to see more of their thoughts and their perceptions about faith. And it wasn't as one note as you might imagine.
So did you find you had more of an understanding of why that person chose that route?
Yes, I had more of an understanding why that person chose that route. And I had an understanding of their sense of faith that they still had.
Oh, wow.
You could still, the more we talked, that they absolutely had faith. They absolutely believed in a higher power, and however people define that for themselves. But you don't have an opportunity to connect with people when you shut them down as soon as they say something that doesn't align with your beliefs and values.
Because don't you go into that combat mode? I'm going to prove my point, and there you go. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's divisive. And I think anything that divides is not, again, not of God. So I think opening up your mind to hear people and see what their perspective is, and not judging their
and you
their
might
view of the
even learn
world.
something.
You might learn
and
something.
maybe even change your perspective on something.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, that could happen too.
Yeah, my perspective's changed all the time.
Every day.
Although, I think I'm right, like 95%.
Oh, that's right. That's one of your little that's one of your little quirks, right?
It is definitely a quirk.
Yeah, but you know what? You realize that. And so I imagine because you do realize that's something that you work on that, right? And you realize that, you might be like that, but doesn't mean that you are always right.
Right.
No,
I know I'm not.
No, I know. But I mean, I'm just saying, but until we we realize we do something, right? We don't change,
I think, and I think one of the things for me that has made me even more introspective, I think for me, one of the things that has made me even more introspective and compassionate towards other people is as I have made changes in my life over the last year, and really having that sense of people judging decisions that I've made has made me a lot more compassionate to judging other people.
Yeah.
And so I've really been thoughtful about that, and just trying to just show up in a way that allows people to be people and be messy, and sometimes make good choices, make bad choices.
And you feel like this has been like on your heart for like the last month or so.
No, I've been, and we haven't even talked a lot.
No, we haven't. We've been busy, and then I'm still looking for a job. And so had some interviews, had a really good one this past week. But I think maybe being alone and not even chatting a lot with my friends has been good, because it I'm just focusing on going to the gym and applying for jobs. I mean, even my other girlfriends, we'd get together at least once a week, my single girlfriends in the area, and I'm not doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just happening.
It's just happening. I
it's
mean,
like God isolates you sometimes for a season.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. And I know we've talked about that too. And it's like, I still crave interaction with people, but it's like, I go to the gym and I have my, earbuds in and I do my weights and then I do my cardio and I'm all in my own space.
Yeah.
Like I may say hi to someone, but
Right,
there's no
right.
conversations. It's really, I'm in this zone. And then, then it's like you come home and you're applying for jobs by yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes for me, because I love being around people, I can feel myself kind of coming down and I need to go to the coffee shop or somewhere just to have people around me because I get energy from people.
Yes.
Doesn't mean I have to talk to them, but I do. I think it's putting me in my own head.
Yeah. Yes.
That can be good or bad.
Yes. Well, sometimes I think it's a healing time.
Yeah.
So when God does isolate you a little bit and put you off by yourself, he means for you to get in your head because
Yeah.
you have some healing to do. You can't do that with a bunch of people around.
No.
And that's why I feel like these little gems come during those times to help you to grow. It's something you need to learn during that time.
And maybe he's prepping me for the big job, the offer that I'm
Yeah.
going to get,
Yes.
hopefully. Not hopefully. I know I'm going to get
Yes.
a job. It's
'Cause
hard.
you will be provided for.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And it's, and I know I'm not worried about that, but it is difficult to
Yeah,
be
of course.
unemployed. And it's
Yeah.
not even the money part. It's that, I mean, the money part, obviously,
Yeah,
but, you're feeling like you're not using your skills and your strengths, and the things you were blessed to do. And just feeling like you're not giving to society.
Yeah.
And I know I've lost a job
Yeah.
before, so that was horrible, but this is not near as bad, like the financial piece, but it's going 4 months. It's a long time.
It is
It's
a
a
long
long time. And the holidays are coming. So that has been bothering me a little bit, because I am a giver.
Yes.
Excuse me. But I do know that obviously that's not the meaning of the holidays.
Yeah.
So, and my son is old enough to understand that too. So I'm not worried about that piece as much because the whole spirit of the holidays is so much more than that. But it's just to be in this space. And then, a lot of companies don't hire as you get closer to Christmas, end of budget season for a lot of companies, and they're cutting back. You're going to start seeing a lot more layoffs.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the way it is because the end of the year's coming up. So, it makes it a little bit more challenging to find something. But I've been working my network and
Yeah, you have a network like none other. You have a great network.
and people have been so kind.
Yes, yeah.
I've had people share jobs with me. I've had people, even jobs that I'm completely overqualified for, and I am not above that. But the problem is I'll apply for a job making half of what I made before.
Yeah.
But they're not going to hire me because they know that I'm not going to stay. And so why would they
Right.
invest in me if I'm not going to stay? And
Right.
so sometimes, not that it's a waste of time, but it's a waste of time in some ways because they're probably
Yeah.
not going to hire me. And I was on LinkedIn the other day and this lady was talking about how oftentimes when people are out of work, it's like they take a scoop of spaghetti and they throw it against the wall and you've got spaghetti all over the place. And so you just start applying because you're desperate and you want a job. And but that's really not a good way to go.
Yeah.
It's better to be more intentional. Like if this job is a fit, not that you can't apply for something that you're overqualified for.
Yeah.
Because I did the other day and the company reached out to me for a personality test and stuff. So they're not writing me off.
Right.
But it's within my field. And
Right.
it would be something I think I'd really enjoy doing. So I don't know. I'm trying to just be more intentional, I guess.
Yeah.
But as we go into October, I mean, I'd be lying if I say I'm not nervous. I'm not. But, I was out of work before for over a year. And it's crazy when I look back. It was one of the hardest seasons of my life. But I got a job in a new community.
Yes.
Moved to this new community.
Yeah.
I love it here.
Made a life here.
I have made a life
Yeah.
here. And within 7-8 months of getting that job, I was promoted to the executive director of the nonprofit because my board saw my potential and kind of
Yeah.
what I was already contributing. And that was a better fit. And I ended up being there 8 years. And so that job was what I was supposed to have.
Yeah.
I had hundreds of resumes sent out, but that was the right job
Yeah.
for my life. And my son has thrived in this community
Yeah.
too. So, I know that the same thing's going to happen this time and
It
it's going to
will.
be even bigger and better. I just have to be patient. And maybe that's some
Maybe
of the
that's the lesson.
Yeah.
We don't have patience in general. Most human
Yep.
beings
Yep.
just, are not very patient
And you
and surrendering
right, and
to,
yep, and I was
yeah.
gonna say, and you talk a lot about your faith, and we're gonna talk about that as you said, but there's a song that I started listening in the last week or so.
Mhm.
It was "Let Go and Let God,"
Yeah.
and I've been listening to that on repeat a lot because I'm thinking that might be my song through the season because it talked about that when you release control.
Yeah.
I can't control. All I can do is say a prayer every time I put a resume out there
Yeah.
and know that the right one is going to come.
It will, and I think I've told you
You
before, and
know,
I know I've told other people. I don't. Most of my jobs have just kind of fell into my lap,
that's crazy. Yeah.
and as I start having that little twinge, I am a big believer that jobs are mutual. So
Oh
I
yeah.
bring, gifts to this job, and the job is giving me gifts and,
Right. I
and, and
agree.
rewards back. And when that relationship dynamic changes for any reason where I no longer feel like I'm benefiting from the organization that I'm working for, or it's not benefiting me, then it's time to go. I
Mm-hmm.
typically stay at jobs around 5 years. And then I get itching for a change. I'm a
Yep.
big like change agent. I love to be a part of making things happen, and I don't like stagnancy. Um,
And that's when you grow the best.
and that's when you
Most, I
grow.
guess.
And
Yeah.
I have felt like every job I've been at was a personal lesson in that employment.
Wow.
When I worked in mental health, and I worked in mental health for 20 plus years, I believe the entire first part of my career was about me, and it was about healing me. It wasn't I
Mm.
was a benefit to other people.
When did you realize this?
I
Like,
didn't realize that until my last job,
okay.
and I started. I have relatives with mental health disorders. It's a part of what drove my passion for it. And I would talk about other people's experiences.
Mm-hmm.
When I got confident enough to speak about my own battles with depression and anxiety, and I
Mm.
was presenting at a conference, and I had to overcome my own stigma about mental health and
And you
mental illness.
shared it there?
Yes, and I did share it then.
Wow.
And that is when I knew that my whole trajectory of my career was not about me helping other people. It was about God working on me, about my own feelings about mental health,
Mm-hmm.
so that because he needed me to work on that so I could be prepared for the next step.
Right.
Like
That
I
makes
had to get
sense.
rid of all the stigma that I had so I could be a blessing to other people, not holding on to shame or feelings of, inadequacy or anything related to mental illness. I had to be able to talk about that freely. And I knew it when I was speaking at that conference. I was like, this has been about me the whole
That's crazy.
time.
How many years ago was that?
Oh my gosh. Probably
Oh,
10.
wow. So it's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah, and I didn't work there too much longer after that.
That's crazy, though. That's
Yeah,
crazy how things like that happen.
no, yeah, and I look at every job as as a placement, like it's an
Mm-hmm.
assignment. God has put me on assignment,
No, that's a
and
great
there's a
way to look.
reason why I'm there. And so, yeah, jobs I have never typically had to look. I haven't had that experience yet.
Huh.
Hopefully
Well,
not.
I was going to say you're lucky, girl.
I have had the experience of being sick and not unable to work. But the actual job search part of it, even the job I'm at now, my director had spoken to me about coming to work
Oh,
for
really?
her
Okay.
when I was at the job prior to that time. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm not interested in that. And then I left mental health, and I did some disaster recovery work, and
Mm-hmm.
that was very rewarding. And then I just got really sick. And when I was coming out of the sickness, I felt like, okay, I'm well enough to work again. Um, I applied for a job. I really wanted that job. I wanted that job. I said, this is my job. And I didn't get that job. But then I was like, I just thought about
Mm-hmm.
she popped up in my head, and it was in my town. And I just looked on the website. There was 2 jobs on there. And I said, well, I'll just give her a call. She still talks about it.
That's
This was how
crazy.
it's
So you
divine
made
intervention.
a phone call.
I just called her and I said, Hi, Henrietta. I was talking, I was looking on the website and I'm looking for a job. She was so excited because they needed a person to come in for the job.
That's awesome.
And, I interviewed for the job and that was 6 years ago. I'm
That's
still there.
crazy.
But it was just a phone call and it was based off of a memory from years prior
Wow.
of her being interested in me for a job.
She thought a lot
Yeah,
about you,
it just aligned at the right time.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
you don't want to be in that moment of having to apply,
Yeah.
and the rejections I think sometimes can get
Yeah.
to you.
You're
But
a champ though. You weather them like really well.
there's been a couple that I literally was like crying because I was like, I had this job because
Yeah.
my journey through this, like I'm making it to the top, right?
Yes.
And then oftentimes it's an internal candidate they hire. And some
Yeah.
companies, you don't stand a chance, but like this company, they're like, no, we want people from the outside in
Yeah.
because you bring a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sad. I was really sad, but I'm just starting to really maybe embrace that it's not a rejection, it's a redirection. And that wasn't what was for me.
Yes.
So that's what I'm
look,
trying.
that's another T-shirt. We got to start our T-shirt, Shannon.
I know, but
I love
I've
that.
been really trying to look at it that way because if not, it'll eat you alive.
Yeah.
It'll eat you alive, but you just know what's coming. So but I mean, the patience and even like, like I wouldn't think twice about going to buy a dress or something. And now being more mindful of the money that I'm spending.
As we all should be.
Yes. And it's making me realize,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, the money that I wasted. Yeah. I mean, how many dresses can you wear? Right. Seriously.
Yeah.
But,
we got this
it does,
conversation.
it makes
Yeah.
you, it's been making me look at that. Like I had to go to Target to pick up a prescription.
Yeah.
I used to go to Target all the time. I was always
Yeah.
telling you, I'm going to Target. I don't, it's weeks before I go. I
Yeah.
mean, I had to get a prescription because CVS is in there. So that I had to go get it. But it's like prescription, get your butt out of there.
Yeah. Well, and I've told you too, since I've lived and, I live on my own now and I pay rent. Well, I had the same income when, I was in a 2-person household. But now I could have been saving, that amount of money every
It
month,
makes
but
you
I wasn't.
sick. Doesn't it kind of make you sick?
It kind of does. It's like, what was I buying?
Because everything you buy, whether it's a couch or a candlestick
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
those are your hours that you are working.
Yes.
That's
real money.
It's real money.
It's real
and you could
money,
use it to go on a trip
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. But Shannon, what I will say too, and even when, you talk about the job search and all those things, I have to tell you that your tenacity and your belief in yourself is I very much admire that. Because even when you were at your job prior to, and you knew you wanted something different for yourself, you were tenacious about looking for a job, finding that opportunity for yourself, and not settling for something that wasn't what you were looking for.
Oh, well,
And,
thank you.
so I think, you will get your job.
I will get my
And it will
job.
be exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because you're not afraid. You
No.
you might take a little knock every now and
Yes,
again, but you get right
yes.
back up.
Oh, thank you. And I have another friend. He told me the other day, keep fighting.
Yeah.
And
you're
I'm
a
like, well,
fighter.
I'm not going to give up.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
There's too much. I have too much to contribute.
Yes.
And maybe that's
Yes.
in the nutshell what the struggle is. I know I have so much to contribute and I can't right now.
Right.
And so it's like, ugh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's frustrating, but I'm just going to keep using that as motivation and energy to get what I want.
Yes. And sometimes the contributing is in just learning how to be.
Yep.
You bought me something. Be still is one is
Be still.
Yeah, be still. And sometimes you just have to be still and realize that in that moment, whatever season God has you in,
Yep.
learning how to sit in it and just look for those opportunities, whatever lessons he's teaching you in that moment, but just to sit in that and recognize that God is at work at all times.
At all times.
And so,
I do believe
yeah.
that. But I totally agree. In our faith, I know guides us, and we'll talk about that in another episode. But at the end of the day, you got to have something to hold on to. And
Absolutely.
that's so I think with the things the last month or so, we just continue to grow and be better, right?
Yeah, just look individually. What can you do as an individual person to make a difference in the world?
A positive.
A positive difference.
Yeah.
Put light into the world. and dispel all this darkness.
No, I agree. And really start thinking about when you're having a conversation with someone, listen to them instead of trying to combat them with your own opinions, because like you said, I mean, just put that light back in, because light will always take away the darkness.
Yes.
Right? And don't you want to be that?
I do.
I do too. I do too. So, well, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you in our next episode, where we are going to talk about if men had no filter, 10 raw questions they'd ask women about relationships. I don't know.
I don't know.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.